Salvete amici, Magister Miki here, with an advanced tip for Imperator Rome. We finance professors have hobbies, and one of mine is playing Imperator Rome. I'm creating a collection of advanced tips I've learned while playing this game, in case you want to have a study break, or play Crusader Kings in Imperator. In this video, I am going to explain the process on how to acquire Bloodline traits, but the Bloodline traits that are added by the Invictus mod. I am going to have a series of videos in the same playlist as this one, where I will go through all the different Bloodlines that are available for you, so you can pick out which ones you want to target. This video will explain how to actually go about getting them. Now, personally, I think acquiring Bloodlines is questionable in terms of playing an optimal strategy, because as you'll see, it's very expensive to acquire every single Bloodline. But collecting things is fun. Playing the marriage game, even though it's not Crusader Kings, is fun. After all, Crusader Kings is a fun game too, just like Imperator. So, let's say we do want to do some Bloodline collections. Step 1. Don't be a Republic. If you are a Republic, you are playing as the ruler. Publius right now is the ruler, but he's not the head of the family. So he can't force or encourage any members of a family to marry. For instance, she's married. Actually, I think all the Roman characters are married. But he can't take his son and arrange a marriage. Heads of families can do that, even if the head of a family just happens to be elected as the head of state for your republic. You're still not actually going to be able to do it, as far as I can tell from some of the testing and playing of republics I've done. There is modding that will allow you to arrange marriages, even though you're not the head of the family for them. But without a mod like that, if you just add Invictus and nothing else, republics cannot play the Bloodline game. Now, if you're a tribal or a monarch, your ruler is the head of a family, and that head of the family can arrange marriages as long as one of the participants in the marriage is a member of that ruler's family. So if you are monarch or tribe, you can try to collect Bloodlines. Alright, so now I'm going to step out for a second and get into a country that can actually do Bloodline collections. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. I've pulled up into Judea. Judea is a kingdom. It starts out as a theocratic monarchy. There's a special monarchy it gets through its mission tree in Invictus. And since I am a monarchy, my ruler can arrange marriages. So this female member of the family, I can click on arrange marriage. I can ask her to marry any single males that are in my country. Okay, so step 1 is we are going to be a monarch or a tribal. Step 2 is we need to decide what bloodline to target. The videos that I'm going to be releasing in the weeks following this one will help you hopefully decide that. In my opinion, what you should be doing is taking into account how powerful the bonuses are of the bloodlines, how quickly the bloodline tends to die out. They usually only are in one country. If that country goes extinct, most of the characters within that country die off, and the bloodline disappears. So high-value bloodlines and bloodlines where you have a time urgency are the ones you should target first. And then, of course, in order to actually get a character to come into your kingdom and marry into your ruling family, you need to be within diplomatic range. So Maria has a really valuable bloodline. Maria is not within diplomatic range, so I can't get it even if I wanted to. Now, if you're in a really large country, so, you've blobbed a bit, or you start out as a big country, you might be within diplomatic range for you. So, but the Ptolemaic Kingdom might be within range for a small country over here, but that small country is not within range of Egypt. You have to have both countries be within range, otherwise the recruit character interaction won't work. One little trick to get around that is that if you're able to ally with that country, that automatically puts you within diplomatic range, even if they're too small to reach you, but you were large enough to reach them. Okay, so we've picked our country. I'm going to pick the Antigonid Kingdom. They have a bloodline, Blood of Antigonus. It's pretty good. Aggressive expansion reduction. And I have some unmarried men in this guy, Rob, Elazar, and Honyo. These three guys are all single, and they could marry someone. Also, this four women here, I believe all of them are unmarried as well. Yes. So any of these people could, I could recruit someone from Antigonus who has the bloodline, marry them together with one of these characters. They have children. Those children then end up with the bloodline. They would actually have both bloodlines. They'd have the Zadok bloodline and the Antigonus bloodline. So I'll need to go into this kingdom, and basically everyone in the Antigonid family is going to have it, so I look for someone who I can recruit. Now, there is a theoretical possibility here where I do a royal marriage, and this will actually work with the Antigonid Kingdom, so I'm going to demonstrate that. So I go in and to the kingdom interactions, relationship. Where is it? Oh yes, so you have to pick out the person you want to arrange the marriage with. So let's say this lady here. I can do royal marriage, and I can pick out someone from my family, the ruler, primary heir, other close relatives or important people, and they'll get married. This only works if you are friendly. I am friendly with them because I'm a tributary. But there are a bunch of problems with royal marriage. So first of all, you have to be doing it with a monarch or maybe a tribal. I can't do a royal marriage with a republic like Rome or Carthage. Both of them have a bunch of bloodlines. So there's a bunch of bloodlines that you just can't get if you're only using royal marriage. Secondly, if both characters are adults and unmarried, and you click the button for the royal marriage, it'll happen. Let me just go back and demonstrate that. So I will make royal marriage. I will marry her to, say, the ruler. Boom. They're married. She is now going to be, or she's going to be now in our country. If I let it advance one day, perhaps. And now they have, now they'll make babies, and those children will have both her bloodline trait and my ruler's bloodline trait. But you can arrange betrothals with underaged, so they're going to get married when they become adults. AI doesn't always honor that. Newly adult characters, especially women, tend to get married off right away. And you basically need to micromanage the very day that the character who you are set up the betrothal with becomes an adult. You go in and say, hey, do the royal marriage. If you don't do that, she'll get married off to someone else, the royal marriage will get broken. I think it's potentially a bug, but there's a lot of difficulties with the royal marriage. You need to have it with monarchs. You have to be friendly with them, basically an ally or subject. If you have a lot of aggressive expansion, they're going to hate you so much that they'll never agree to it. You need to have an eligible member to marry to them. It's kind of buggy and doesn't work properly, and the AI doesn't really honor the agreement. So if you can do a royal marriage, it's great. It's really cheap and easy to do, but you usually can't. So what I do instead is I do the recruit character action. So I have the bloodline now. Let's say I'm trying to get the Ptolemaic bloodline. And well, actually, it's a bad choice because she doesn't have all the bloodlines. Thrace. Let's get the Thrace bloodline. So the Alchemid family. She, she got the bloodline. I can't do a royal marriage. Their opinion of me is not high enough. But I can do the recruit. So I could recruit a character if I was within range of Thrace. I am not. So I guess I'll just go with Ptolemy then, because I know I'm within range for them. So I can recruit her. Oh, no, she's in the wrong country. Okay. Well, she's already married. As you can see, it might be a little bit harder than you would expect. Am I within range of the Sluggets? Yes, okay. So I can recruit the character. The character will join my country. I can then marry her off to one of my members of my family. She'll join as a minor character. And then you just have to pick the member of your family that you're marrying to her and arrange the marriage. You can also adopt this character, so that character will now be part of your family. There are some issues with that. For one, if that character's culture is too far outside of your integrated cultures, you'll need to pass the relaxed civilization law. Ease restrictions on citizenship. This allows you to adopt characters other than Hebrew culture, which they will typically be different cultures than your main culture. And adopting is expensive. It costs you a lot of legitimacy and things like that. Okay, so you're gonna go. We're gonna recruit someone from the Sluggets. We want to get their bloodline. It's a pretty valuable bloodline. It's not very urgent, but there's not a lot of other bloodlines for us to get because Judea is so small we can't really target anyone. Now, in order for recruitment to work, you have to be friends, and also the loyalty of the character has to be below 40. Right now, her loyalty is at 63. If you are friends with a foreign ruler, you have a -5 penalty to loyalty. There's also the Inspire Disloyalty. And, oh, this is not going to work either because we're not within range. Oh my goodness. Right. So, we'll try her then. Because yes, we can do an Inspire Disloyalty. As you can see, it can be hard to find someone suitable. Okay, so there's -5 from having a foreign ruler as your friend, and Inspire Disloyalty takes off 20 loyalty from the character. So you can take current loyalty, subtract off 25, and if you can get a number below 40, in this case we are of course going to be below 40, she's already at 48, then you will be able to do the recruitment. But if the loyalty is above 40, you usually can't. So if the character you're targeting starts with a loyalty basically above 65, 5 from foreign ruler, 20 from the Inspire Disloyalty, that character is not eligible. So even if her scorned family were to disappear, she'd be at 58. We're still in good shape. We would still be able to recruit this person. Now, an important consideration here, if you do Inspire Loyalty, you pay 5 aggressive expansion. That is a huge amount of aggressive expansion, and all you're doing is just, that allows you to click the recruit button. So if you can find someone who's really low in loyalty, and you won't need to do the Inspire Disloyalty, definitely want to consider that. Recruitment also, you pay 2 aggressive expansion as well, so you could pay up to 7 aggressive expansion to get one person with the bloodline. Now, make sure that this character can get married and have children. It'd be a real bummer if you recruited someone and that character had a trait that reduced fertility, or the character was too old to have children. She's 19. Doesn't have any children, so she'll be able to have children. Ideally, you will have an unmarried character ready to immediately marry this target. But if our target is too young, or our character is too young, you can wait. They'll just sit around in your court waiting until your marriage candidate is available. Okay. Next, let's go look at someone else for this part. So I'm going to get someone who's already married. Yes, so she's married. She's also pregnant. If we recruit her, she would divorce her husband, this guy. She moves to Judea, and her children move to our country. I'm not 100% certain when they do the divorce and when the character brings her husband with her. Let me see if I can find someone else. They're doing divorce there too. Here we go. So if I were to create this guy, he would move to Judea, his wife comes with him, and their children come with him too. This is good and bad. So bad is he's not divorcing her, so I can't marry him to anyone unless I eliminate his previous spouse. However, if he had a bloodline, his children would have the bloodline too. And once they grow up, they're going to be minor characters in my court, and I can marry them off to someone. That is a little bit of micromanagement that I would have to worry about, but it is another option. So if you can't marry that character, if that character has minor children, those children will come with when you click the recruit button. Okay, now another thing to consider is how children get assigned to their status when they are born. It depends on the father. So whatever great family status the father has. So let's go to my own country. So if the father is one of these three great families, his children will be that great family. If the mother is one of the great families, it doesn't matter. It only depends on the father. If the father is a minor character, which this is a new addition, I think, from the Invictus mod, this minor character, his children will be also minor characters. This means that recruiting a female character with the bloodline you want is better, because then you marry her to a male member of your bloodline, their children are members of the bloodline, they'll just sort of automatically get married and start spreading the bloodline trait around when those children grow up. If you bring over a man with the bloodline, you'll have to marry that person to a woman of your bloodline, of your great family. Their children will have the bloodlines, but they'll be a minor character, and you have to marry them back into your great family. More micromanagement. So a female character is going to be better. Let's see, next. Oh yes, when you arrange the marriages, the characters can demand hefty bribes if they don't like the proposed marriage. As far as I can tell, if the loyalty of the target is below 50, they will demand extra money. So she would accept a marriage. And if there's a big age gap, so if we tried to marry this 19-year-old to a 50-year-old man or something, she'd probably demand a lot of money too. It's not necessarily a complete barrier. You can obviously pay it if you have the resources, but you can try to avoid it by bribing them, and then their loyalty is high enough, and you do the marriage, and so on. And that's generally cheaper than bribing them after you try to arrange the marriage and they refuse to do it. And next, finally, the game has a cap on the total number of characters that can be in your court. If you have too many characters, couples will stop having children until some people die off or leave. So don't add lots of additional minor characters unless you absolutely need them, because then your great families will not be producing babies with the bloodlines you have been collecting. Okay, to summarize, pick a character out to recruit based on the desired bloodline, the character's age, their health, the loyalty. Then you're going to have to befriend the character, reduce their loyalty below 40, recruit them, and then arrange a marriage with a member of your ruler's great family, and then hope that the happy couple has lots of babies. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that the bloodlines are not optimal play, and the reason for that is because despite having many great bonuses, and if you stack lots of bloodlines on your ruler, you're going to get tons of nice bonuses. The issue is they're extremely costly to recruit. And I've already kind of touched on this. So once you've made someone your friend, so let's say we have made Callista here, the friend with our ruler, we still have to inspire his loyalty. We pay 5 aggressive expansion, we recruit her, we pay another 5 aggressive expansion. 7 aggressive expansion is a lot. But wait, it gets worse because we have to click the Make Friends button. So after we do this, the game will start running events. There's going to be 3 friendship events. There's 5 total, and the game picks randomly from those 5. Each event requires us to choose options where we pay a cost to gain points. The minor option gives us 1 point, the moderate option gives you 2 points, the large option gives you 3 points. After the 3 events, if your ruler has accumulated at least 6 points, then the characters become friends. Now every event always has a 2-point option, so if you just always pick a 2-point option, you will, for all 3 events, you guarantee the friendship. You'll have to remember, because the game won't track it for you, so sometimes there's events will give you an option for 3 points, and then you can pick 3 points, pick 1 point, and 2 points, you add up to 6. To keep the memory issues down, I tend to just say I'm going to always pick 2 points and stick with it. The issue is all of the events cost resources to do. So there are 2 options where you pay money, and the more money you pay, the more friendship points you get. So the first event has a fixed cost. It's you buy an exotic animal for your target. It's really expensive early game and really cheap late game. And you can get either 1 point, 2 point, or 3 points. The second event is just a straight up bribe to them. And again, you can do a small bribe, big bribe, and medium bribes. And this cost scales with country income. So right now my income is tiny. That cost is going to be tiny. But if in late game your income is huge, that bribe is going to be huge. Third event is you have the opportunity to send a gladiator to the target. You can either pay political influence and popularity for 2 points, or just popularity for 1 point. There's no 3-point option. The fourth event uses diplomatic channels. It has 3 2-point options. Either pay stability, political influence, or manpower. In the last event, you execute an enemy of the target, and there's just 2 options here, either a 2-point where you pay tyranny and political influence, or 1 point where you pay gold and tyranny. So, as you might have noticed, a lot of these events are very expensive. 3 of the events are going to be potentially costing you political influence. 2 of them will for certain cost you political influence. There's 2 events that cost a lot of money, depending on where you are in the game. One of the events, you could, instead of paying political influence, you can pay with stability, which is even worse. Or you can pay with manpower, which late game is fine, but early game manpower is really precious. So depending on which 3 events you get, you're going to pay some combination of money and political influence and some other stuff too, probably. Because 2 events always require money, 2 events always require political influence to get those 2 points, and 1 event also requires political influence. So on average, every single time you recruit someone, by making them your friend, you're paying a bunch of money, you're paying 15 to 30 political influence points. And then you pay 7 aggressive expansion to recruit them. Except it's even worse. Let's go to our ruler. I have a maximum number of friends. I can have 4 friends. There are a lot more than 4 bloodlines, I can assure you. Once I've recruited 4 people into my country to marry into the family for bloodlines, I can't add more friends. I have to remove friends. Except you can remove foreign friends for free. But if your friend lives in your country, which of course he or she will because you want that person's bloodline, you have to pay 30 political influence. Yes, you have to pay 30 political influence to remove the friend. So you've just doubled the number of political influence points you're paying to do this recruitment once you get to the 4. Now, of course, if your ruler is replaced, he dies, and your child inherits, you get new friends. You get a larger friend count, at least 2, because rulers get an extra +2. So now we're up to probably 45 to 60 political influence cost to purchase this one bloodline. And you don't get the benefit right away, right? Because you have to marry that character to someone. The children then have to marry into probably your ruler or your heir, and then their children. So it's going to be several generations before that bloodlines bonus is actually benefiting your ruler. Now, if it's a bonus, if the bonus applies to like commanders or governors, you might get the benefit sooner. But typically, it's the ruler bonuses that are the most important. So, getting a single bloodline is very expensive. Up to 60 political influence, 7 aggressive expansion, substantial amounts of gold, and you have to wait a long time. So the time value of money issue is going to be a problem as well. Okay, so now, all that being said, let's walk through how to actually do it. So I'm going to recruit that character from the Ptolemaic Kingdom, just to demonstrate how it would work. Alright, Callista, I'm going to make friends with you. And now there's going to be a series of events. Let's just roll the clock here. One will trigger every month. Okay, so this is the first event. This is a diplomatic channel one, so I can either pay 5 stability, 15 political influence, or 2,500 manpower to make her, to give her 2 points. Or I could not do it, but if I do this, I'll fail to make her a friend. I'll go with manpower because I have excess manpower right now. Otherwise, I have to pay a lot of political influence. That was a bad event to get. Okay, this is also a bad event to get because I have to pay 10 political influence here to get the moderate amount. Alright, so now I have 4 points. And next event. Okay, the last event, also a bad event to get. This is the fixed gold cost, so this is buying the exotic ones. I already have 4 points. I buy the Nile Crocodile, I get 2 more points, I have 6. Yeah, these prices are pretty bad. And she's going to be my friend now. Just gotta wait a little bit. Can't afford that, I'm bribing this character. Alright, unfortunately she's already been married. That's okay though. That will usually happen when if it's an unmarried woman, if you have to wait 3 months to befriend her, she'll get married to someone. So her loyalty's not greater than 40. It will update... Oh no, it won't. Okay, so then I have to do Inspired Loyalty. Boom, and she drops down to 38. If she didn't have Score in Family, I would have an issue. That's because she's shy. I didn't realize that. Her +10 loyalty there makes it harder. But now I can recruit her. I believe because he has a job. You can't steal away the character with a job. It's probably a mechanic to prevent gaming things. But I click recruit. Note, I now have 7 aggressive expansion. I didn't conquer a single territory. It's going to take me a long time to get this back. And she's now a minor character in my... The nice thing is her loyalty is really high because she's friends with the ruler and she was just granted citizenship. I can't adopt because I have to ease restrictions. Thankfully, I don't need to worry about that. Now I go in to my own family and let's primary her. Arranged marriage, and she shows up here. She's she's 19, he's 20, so age is not an issue. She has 90 loyalty, so she'll agree to it. And boom, they're married. She will eventually get pregnant, have children, and their children will have the bloodline of Zadok and the blood of Ptolemy. So that's one bloodline. There's several dozen bloodlines that you can collect without too much effort just by natural expansion. If you want to kind of optimize for it, there's even more you can collect. So I'm going to have to pay that kind of cost over and over and over again each time I want to collect a single bloodline. Alright, so there you go. I hope if you do want to collect bloodlines that this guide will help you go through that process. And if you found this video helpful for your study break or for your plans on collecting bloodlines in Imperator, please comment, like, and or subscribe so that others can find this video too. Happy not studying or playing Crusader Kings.